What's going on, everybody? It is Luke here again, bringing you another Mr. FBA UK video. And this video, I'm not going to be in shot because I'm trying to show you a lot of detail, I guess, or a lot of stuff on the screen. So we're just going to do the screen today. So what we're going to talk about here is getting ungated in brands and categories, and even ASINs. It can get down to. Now, I'm basically going to run over all of the areas I'm ungated in, approved to sell in. This can be from, some brands, some individual ASINs, and get a feel for what is even out there that you might want to look at getting ungated for. Because what you'll find is that when you start off, you're gated in a lot of areas, and you want to obviously slowly progress and head in the right direction by getting ungated in more and more areas. Now, as you may or may not already know, under categories, add the product. Obviously, when you're adding your products to cart, adding after a shipment, for example, like some plain bills or Star Wars BB-8s or whatever, or Hasbro's, you type in your ASIN here. You'd search for something. So that's just type in, let's just type in this, and obviously you get the big old list of all of the items. But if you put in the ASIN, and of course it's going to come up with the exact item, you would then basically, well, that's just fine. You would then normally click that and click the sell yours. Now, on items that you can't yet sell, it won't say sell yours. It will say request approval. Now, it's very difficult for me to ever find a product I cannot sell. I probably can show you in a minute, just because I think I've tried to get ungated in it, and it's now stuck. Well, it's left as a draft. So I will show you, but you'll see it says request approval. And you can just click request approval and see if it gives you automatic ungating, meaning as soon as you click that button, it will say, due to your seller central activity and account health, something similar to those lines, you are automatically approved to sell in this category. And you can go through and just try that for either different ASINs. You could just type in here general topics like beauty. If there's beauty stuff that you can't sell and you want to sell it, well, give it a go. See if you can just find, where you do it this way, you can see obviously many different items, and then you can just try against each one. Or you could type in, like Lego if you're not done in Lego, and it might say that you can sell some. So you might want to look for the ones that you can't sell, and see if you can get auto ungated in those, and so on and so on and so on. You could even go through and do specific ASINs if you really want, and see if you can. Now, it may find that you can't on any, but you will find. So I just checked the product, basically the categories that I'm approved to sell, and a lot of them have disappeared. You see. So originally, beauty, groceries, and health and personal care were all gated, and you could sell almost every single toys and games product, apart from a handful of Playmobil products and a handful of Lego products, like some of the different movie versions. So, ones that are not like just generic Lego, that have been, more like a movie release version, And that was, and then you could have, if after you've sold on Amazon a bit, you could actually get auto ungated, like I've just mentioned, where you would then type in I used to just go over the ASINs that I knew that I couldn't sell, trying to get ungated, and eventually I just did it, and I clicked the approve, and it automatically did it. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you so where you can see what you are. Well, where you would go and see is this view seller application section here. Okay. Oh, I thought I could sell Rolex. Well, clearly not. Okay, well, yeah, okay, it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't sell Rolex. I just did it because at the time I just wanted to see what I could sell. But as you can see here, it's got lots of different applications, yeah? So I've gone through all of my 6 pages here to see what is even left. So what's approved, what's in draft. Drafts where you can't, it's not auto-approving me, basically. So I'm not pursuing it anymore. And yeah, groceries and all that aren't even there anymore. So which I wouldn't know really different, to be fair. But so you can see it does change over time. Things change, but the more that you can get ungated, the more likely you are to be able to continue selling in areas. So recently there was a massive thing about DVDs. There was a big thing in all the groups. Everyone was saying that they cannot sell DVDs, or they're being, it's stopped. It stopped them or gated them or whatever it was. Now, for me personally, there was no change. I can sell DVDs basically, and I still sell DVDs, and there's like one person selling them, and it's literally just like a replenishable item. And now I buy it for 15 quid, I'd sell it for 30 only because I want to make more sales on it, because I'm pretty much the only seller, apart from one other person now and then. But it's just, it's really nice. But the reason I probably have that is because I've got ungated I've tried to get approved here in many areas. So my account looks like it's been around for a long time. It's a solid account. It's ungated in areas which now may be almost impossible. But because it can see that I'm a little bit more of a historical seller, it's the system. It's going to be an automatic process. The system can see that, well, if I'm approved for Dolce & Gabbana or Diesel or Clinique, then DVDs is the least of my, these brands are going to be more strict, or have more things in place than sort of DVDs, for example. So I can just see that the more that you're ungated in, and the more that you're doing to actively try to get ungated, the more you should not have any issues when things do change. So there have been changes in the last, say, year, just little things here and there. And I don't think I've noticed any change in any of my products that I can sell. No, I don't think I have, unless I just don't sell it anymore. So I'm going to go through and show you. So when you click the auto approve button, like I've just been discussing, sometimes, like for example, why can't I sell Shoal? Like literally like a nail clipper or something. But okay. Now, whenever you do it and it doesn't say auto approve, it will come up with something like this. It will basically say you're requesting approval to sell in this thing, and it will advise you what you need to sell. Now, as soon as I see this, I just jump. I just basically just save the draft or just jump off it, and it will stay up here. You can see how old some of these changes up. Let's just see what my Well, yeah, you can see I started getting ungated in all of the areas in 2017, and you can see, look at the date there. Look at these dates: 14th, probably more 14th, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14, 14. So I basically went on a binge of trying to get ungated in as many areas as I could. Once I realised Amazon was starting to allow my account to get auto ungated. So you can see here, this is so when it says the first one, it's not. It was the very first one. Topicals, groceries, health and personal care, personal care appliances. It was also one. This is more like grooming products, like electric shavers and stuff. And beauty. Did I say that one? Beauty, great, yeah, whatever. And they were all at the same time. So that's when I basically got ungated from just selling toys and games, which was, I could sell about 95% of toys and games, and everyone could sell. That was the easiest category to get into. So it was the worst category because it was just all beginners would sell in that category because it's free, or it was, there's no work to do. Now it's slightly changed. So and you can, and now the other categories are actually open a bit more. So it does sort of, it's actually got easier. For me, I would have loved that groceries, health and personal care and all that were actually still gated in a way, because it means you've got to prove yourself to get there, meaning you're not going to be, probably not going to be a penny on the repricer, or, a little bit naive in how you're doing it. Or if you see someone goes lower than you, you think, I want to get that sale. And because you're a beginner, you don't really think long term. You're not thinking as a full-time business. You're thinking, I want to make a couple extra quid. So you end up sort of taking and playing the game wrong. You don't do it professionally. You sort of do it how a beginner sort of acts when you start anything. They always do it the not the correct way, I guess. So for me, I would have loved that, but okay, doesn't it's not the end of the world. You got to adapt, because I don't in another 2 or 3 years, what's it going to be like then? Yeah. So if this was back then, this is about, I say it's 2 years. Give or take 2 years ago, that was the state of play. 2 years on, and it's it's not like it's just changed today. It's probably been around for a good 6 to 8 months. So a year and a bit, the whole ball game's already changed, really. It sort of flips it on its head to make the easiest category the hardest, and the harder category is easier. So then, obviously, I don't know what that ASIN is, but then there was a time when people started noticing that you could get auto approved. Now, yes, it might not be right now if you start playing around with it and testing it, but it's normally to do with a couple of factors. It's normally to do with once you get over that €15,000, is it, threshold, that it basically, that's sort of like, it's sort of, if anyone under that €15,000 threshold is basically, in Amazon's eyes, not a serious seller. Because to do 15 grand in sales is just, you can do that in 1 month, but obviously starting off, you're probably not. But you can definitely do that in a couple of months, and the profit, and just because you're doing the turnover, it doesn't really mean anything. And to them, that's very, very insignificant. And to go over that, and then to provide all the documentation they need after that point, that's when you sort of get a little bit of a tick in their box to say, okay, they still want to continue. They provided all the extra information. Okay, so they're taking it a bit more seriously than someone just trying it out as a trial, for example. And if you're a limited company, they respect that more, because a limited company is seen as a bit more professional entity. It's most businesses that are well known, or any business that pretty much is going to, that's a decent size, will be a limited company, just to do with liabilities. Like, the owner wouldn't ever want to take on a personal debt of millions of pounds, because then he'd lose everything. So that's why limited companies are around. So the limited company can take on all this debt to grow, which is why they would become big or bigger. But the added security of knowing that it doesn't then fall back on just one person, because obviously companies get to a point where it's not really just one person's responsibility. Therefore, why should it fall back on one person? And that's where a limited company is seen as a larger long-term plan. Most sole traders are one person, always one person. Maybe they have an assistant or one or two people, and they basically just work, get paid, and then they have to keep repeating that process. And they are the business. That's basically the ultimate underlying factor of that. Without them, there is no business, so it doesn't really exist. The business doesn't really exist. It's just like, the business is them, so you might as well just say it's you. This guy's making money somehow, which you can have with a lot of limited companies, of course, but limited company is seen as you want to then progress to a point. So anyway, I'll keep remembering on. So they will probably give you more reign of the field, or reign, what's that word? I don't know. Just more reign in terms of what they will probably approve you in, and how quick. By that, so it's all to do with like turnover, how quick you're doing it. Yeah, if you're there for 10 years and you do 100 grand, that's 10 grand a year. It's still not, yes, you may get ungated slowly because you are there, but you sort of, the systems are all going to do automatically. It wants to know that you're doing consistent sales. It has to be consistent, not fluctuating month by month. Maybe you're only doing it over Christmas, so it's going to know that. So it has to be sort of all year round. Has to be maybe a limited company, or you don't have to be. I know people that are on getting a hell of a lot of stuff and they're not limited, but it might take a little longer. And all these other factors. So basically, if you're acting in a professional, like you're a professional business, and looking to grow over the years, then that's the fastest way to do it. And then all I did, once I started getting auto ungated in some of the easier bits, so topicals, it wasn't auto. I had to get wholesale stuff for that. All of these other ones, literally, that is the only one left on this chart which I had to actually get wholesale invoices for, and groceries and all the others, but they've been deleted obviously because they must not have any restrictions at all anymore. And all of these, so let's have a look. Baby feed, you can just see what we've got. I've got here charges, seasonal lighting. And all I did is I went onto a website. I'm not even sure. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not really sure why there's like 3 of the same one. Maybe because it used to be called something else, like pet care, and in a subcategory, but they've sort of merged it into the same one. So it looks now as I've got 3. But this is, you can use these and just try these words, because there is a website and it tells you all the subcategories of everything. I mean, yeah, I even got contraception here. Not like I would sell Durex or something. Well, I could do, I guess, but I haven't. Chargers, not sure what that is. Then I started trying to get the brands ungated. So I've got Samsung. Not that I would ever sell Samsung, but Philips. I sell Philips. I sell Microsoft. Not sure what that is. Sony. Don't know if I've ever sold any Sony. Cooking tools. Yeah, I mean, I've got many repeats like Remington's, Braun. So they're like more personal bathroom appliances and stuff. LG, learning toys, Ray-Bans, Estee Lauder, baby ointments, that's been there for a while. Baby food, Calvin Klein, Clinique, Diesel, beer and wine obviously doesn't. I mean, click on this, it does say I could probably push it through. No, I can't. I've got to add this personal alcohol license. All right. Before, I'm sure I could automatically do it, but I didn't want to risk it and then get some weird stuff from the government or something. HP, no, it's gone. What's it gone? Oh, I don't know what I pressed. Yeah, and whatever that is. So you can you can even just try just typing in these brands and that, or you can look up here and it will give you different. The book being declined, draft. Let's just actually see what half of these do. Need action, ASINs, whatever that means, brands, categories. Yeah, I haven't looked at this for years, probably. Yeah. When's the last time I did anything? Yeah, like a year ago. And that would have just been me literally trying to just find new applications. Like, I don't even know what to type in here. Like, I mean, I don't know what's meant to be difficult here. Oh, Apple's not even there anymore. I'm sure I had Apple. I'm sure I had Apple. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't sell Apple anyway. I just like to see if I can actually get. I like to see if the system respects my account and then to what level. You get what I'm trying to say. So it's giving me like these brands, which are, well, I'm sure I tried them before and I couldn't get. Yeah, I did. My brother works at Estee Lauder, or wherever. It's not even there, is it? Clinique you can get from Estee Lauder. And I just thought, and he's like, "Oh, have a look how much. Have a look if you can sell it." It was years ago now. Back in, well, it'd be about a year ago. No, before this actually. And it was just interesting to see if you can sell these things, and I couldn't. So over time, these brands must be slightly difficult for people to get ungated, but it's good to be periodically just having a check, because you could be sitting there thinking, oh, I can't sell this, I need wholesale invoices, can't do this, but actually you just need to play around with some, different brand names. So just type in some different brand names, maybe try a couple of ASINs within, that brand, or type in a general category. You could, if you can't sell certain like watches and you want to sell some watches, I don't know what, whatever. Just go down and think, oh, okay, I try this one, like, whatever that brand is, or go down, maybe you've got, because watches are actually a subcategory or something, and you want to sell like even like something like a Disney watch, like, unless it's changed. It used to be, I guess I can just sell that, but yeah, watches, unless watches now not. But I remember I tried selling a Lego watch and it says you're not ungated in watches, for example. But even though it's Lego and I was allowed to say Lego, but it's just good, and then just go through the different pages and see if any of these actually come up as different. So have a look at the product and see, oh yeah, that looks slightly different than that one. So is that now coming under a subcategory of a subcategory of a subcategory, that sort of thing? Definitely when they're like, you can sort of see it's more like a toy watch, or this is like a pendant, pocket watch. It's interesting. Or you can just go through here if you really wanted to and just, well, let's see if I can still see these in vinyls. I guess so. So you see vinyls, I'm sure. Let's have a look. Oh, don't worry, I don't want to sell music anyway. But it's interesting. See, it's almost like a game. I want to see, like, because where people, for example, a lot of experienced sellers I know, I've been doing it for a while. They got stopped from selling in DVDs. Now I didn't, so I feel like, okay, is that why am I not getting? Why is my account okay to sell in a category where lots of other sellers are selling, have been for years? This as well, experienced sellers. Is there something that I've done right, or have I been missed? It's not impossible that they've missed me, because you know what Amazon's like. But I feel like, okay, so, well, hopefully it's a good thing that I'm still allowed to sell DVDs where a lot of other sellers aren't. So maybe my accounts look to see, have you ever had an issue with DVDs? No. How long have you been selling DVDs? 2 years, 1 year, however long since its first sale. Never been an issue, never been negative feedback, never been a return for, I don't know how they do it. So they think, okay, well, that means that then puts a tick next to my account to say, pass, move on, next, show us your pass. And if you think, you look at your pass and you say, like, invalid, you get on like a passport. Yeah, everything like checks out, that sort of thing. So it's nice to like have a play and see if you can get ungated in these brands. Not that I'd even sell half of them, but it's nice to have them on the account, because I feel that if something happened and the system wants to check what your account is like, in what does it look like, it can see, well, actually he's ungated in a lot of things he's done, so his account must be at a certain X level. It can't just if there was nothing on there. Maybe the level of the account, I don't know how it works in the background. The level of the account is lower, even if there was no difference. I just hadn't gone through and tried to get ungated. It's just interesting to think about the different reasons for why has this person had this and why has this person not had this, even though there's not much difference between them. Or is there? What I'm trying to get at? And it's nice to also see if you can just sell some brands, because ultimately there's no point going and buying loads of wholesale stuff for this, that and the other, if you could do it a little slower, or you can just even get auto ungated by just spending a little time and trying to figure out if you can actually sell these items. So yeah, hopefully you I had done a video like this before, but it was absolutely ages ago, and it's always interesting to know, like, yeah, so if I just go, just in case you don't think you think I'm lying or something, I can sell this item, I can sell pretty much, I'm just gonna, yeah, you can see it doesn't say like crest approval. I can sell this more, ladies in lavender. Ooh, saucy. So you can see what, yeah, so just so in case you think I'm just making it up or something. I don't know, I'm interested to see if there's any random, yeah, it's just not, it's all fine. But yeah, it's just definitely worth looking at anyway, if it's not something you've really been either not worrying about because you don't want, you don't feel like you need to worry about it, but just, even if you're not worrying about it, just give it a go, I think, just to see, because then at least you even say that you can, like, you seem to, you do one or two things, you'll be like, okay, well, that's fine, I'll leave it for a minute, but now I know that the first thing I'm going to do is try this, and this before I'd even waste any time thinking about going down the wholesale route, for example. A lot of people probably will just waste time going da-da-da-da, go, oh, actually, should I just go and check? And then check, yeah. It's all, yeah, it's just thinking outside the box and being proactive rather than reactive. That was something I got told years ago by one of my old managing directors. For some reason, it's just stuck in my mind. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed the video somewhat, or you've got a little bit of like an insight into maybe some of the categories you should go and have a look at, because it's very difficult to know what half the subcategories are. There is a website somewhere, I'm sure you can find it if you spend a little bit of time. I haven't seen it, I haven't gone on it for years, so I have no idea where it would even be. But it was there, and it's just UK categories and subcategories. It must come up as something, and then just type in those words, literally like baby care, whatever it was. Yeah, and then like the next category is like, is it topicals or tropical? For some reason I think it's called tropicals, but it's clearly not going to be called tropicals. Oh, topic. I don't even know if it is ointment. Is that how you spell ointment? Well, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably correct. But yeah, you get what I'm trying to get at. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Smash a thumbs up if you have, because I do actually look at that to see like how people do people like the video or do they think it's crap. And then if I see it's got like even a couple of thumbs down, I'll sort of think, okay, why is that? Like, not people will say, but at least it gives me a little bit of an insight. Like, okay, well, next time I ever look at this sort of topic, I'll have an idea of maybe changing it a bit or whatever. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, but otherwise, I'll see you on the next video.